All right, I made several mistakes, but we're live now. Welcome, friends. I'm tired, Cotton's tired, Connor's wired, and Shep's here. So that's the rundown for today. This might be a half session because, as I mentioned, several of us are tired. What can I say? Today is going to be a let's call it a prequel. Mick is not here. He's busy having an anniversary, as if that's a real thing. There you go. Someone laughed at the very least.
I'm sure his wife is making him do it.
We are going to be telling the story of the beginnings of the Fade Anguzian Empire tonight, at the hands of young Saint Fade before she became Saint Fade. Let's check in on everybody, see how they're doing. I'll tell you this: took that nap because I was like, man, 6 o'clock. I'm really tired. I'm gonna set an alarm for 7 o'clock, and I'm just gonna close my eyes. And the next thing I know, my alarm's going off, and I'm like, oh my god, my eyes are open, and I'm more tired than when I went to sleep. So I grabbed some ice cream and some Doritos, and I'm hoping that Sugar Rush will get me through the show. Statistically, though, I will crash in about 5 minutes, so be prepared for that. Speaking of someone who isn't crashing tonight, let's talk to Connor Hughes, who's already here drawing. Are you dropping Tar Heel the Scrappy? Is that what we're doing? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We got that shock of hair up there that indicates to me that this character is a bit wild.
Right, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
this is where I'm thinking that your character's going, but we'll see.
My character? No, sir. It's your character now.
Well, you're about to give a description, so at that point...
No, not even slightly. You're going to tell me. I will give you some basics, but you're going to tell me about the character.
Okay.
Connor Hughes, I would never tell you what your character looks like. This is an art show for artists.
True. Yeah, I mean, pretty regular week. I've been catching up on things in the background, and I will still be continuing to do that after we're done here tonight. So, yeah, nothing too exciting for me, unfortunately. Rob, what's going on with you?
Oh, what is going with me? Today, my wife and I, you may remember that we ice skate often. And then today we took out the inline skates and we're trying those. And of course, we're realizing how completely different they are than from ice skating. So I fell once, a nice good landing on my ass. Art-wise, I'm working on a commission, so I chisel away at it a little bit every other day. And that's about it.
Is inline skating that much different than ice skating? I've never done really either. I've never had any capacity in that. Well, I've never tried, I suppose, but I mean, it never seemed like I would.
Yeah, I would say they're completely different. I mean, you're wearing the boots and you're pushing off and doing motion and stuff, but the feel of them are completely different. The way you stop is different. The way you turn is different. So yeah, it's like learning a completely different skill.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the skills at least feed into each other, like in a symbiotic way?
Well, I think they have to. I think the forward motion probably, is the most similar, but that's about it. I mean, the turns, the spins, all that other stuff is completely different. And I was watching a young athlete from Russia or whatever doing some maneuvers and stuff, and she would go up on her toe wheel and do all kinds of fancy crap that you can't do on ice skates. So it's fun to watch, but completely different. That's a big deja vu. I feel like I've talked about that before. Yeah, I haven't, but I feel like it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, after we're done tonight, I'm going to be streaming and working on the commission. So
what's the commission for?
I'm supposed to not say, even though it's not a big secret, but it's okay to say I'm working on a commission, but I'm not supposed to give any details yet.
Gotcha. Cool.
Wow. Listen, Rob, I appreciate that. There's this one time I had a secret commission with somebody, and then they just tweeted out all of the art, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's
I was like, I was going to reveal that on stream for this campaign, but all right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I promised not to. I'm allowed to stream it, and that's it. So that's what I'll be doing. And Cotton, how about you?
I haven't done much today except wrangle a bunch of toddlers.
I'm
You're
glad
talking
you
about
mentioned
inline
that.
skating.
It's gonna be so relevant for.
Oh, okay.
More toddlers, yay.
Hey, I like toddlers.
I mean, you know me,
Will
I
you-
have a narrow range of children's acceptable ages. That's the age where they're easy to manipulate in video games into doing what you want, but not old enough to start swearing at you or come up with independent creative thought that will ruin your master plan.
What about if they poop in the bathtub?
Listen,
about that
Connor,
age,
that's
right?
too young. And I'd note that my acceptable range for children entirely involves them talking to me remotely and obeying my commands during FPS games, where I'm like, all right, go out there, distract them so I can kill them.
Gotcha. All right.
Children should be used as soldiers. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, it's okay.
Please go ahead. I feel like this is one of those clips that's going to come back and haunt me in 20 years.
Is inline skating similar to rollerblading?
Yes, same thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was different or not. I got rollerblades once when I was a kid because my mom gave them to me, and she took them away a few days later because she didn't trust me enough to rollerblade. She said I was going to break my leg. Apparently, I was that bad at it.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't ask you.
We heard that, Pondo. Do you remember falling?
You're an adult now. You can go get
Nope.
rollerblades anytime you want.
And
I
break your leg
remember-
all time.
Roller skating down the driveway and my mom stopping me and taking my rollerblades away.
Gotta let kids take risks, but also not break their legs.
Yeah, listen, Connor, there's a delicate balance between making sure children never hurt themselves, but also making sure that they challenge themselves in a, okay, you know what? I'm not a parent or
She
caregiver.
let my sister keep her rollerblades, so I think it was like I wasn't the most graceful child in the world. Really?
Dang, that's salt from off camera.
I'm not the most graceful person in the world.
There you go.
And I got into accidents a lot when I was a child, so the fact that she took my rollerblades away, it was probably deserved.
After one try, though.
Yeah.
I think the
See,
influence
this-
so far has been that she tried multiple times.
I
but
got
then
my
this
finger
was the
stuck in a
occasion.
bicycle sprocket when I was a child, and it almost ripped it off.
Did your mom take your bike away?
No, it was her bike. It was an exercise bike. That was just kind of chilling there. I think she was tempted to. I got my face split open with a piñata stick, and I wasn't allowed to have piñatas at birthdays anymore.
Jeez. A pinata stick?
Piñata stick.
Well, did someone else hit you?
Yes.
Sounds
Busted
like,
my lip
sounds like
open.
the problem wasn't the pinata stick. It
That's
was
the
other
parents
person.
not clearing enough space. Yeah.
Well, they did. Okay, so there was this whole line of kids at a birthday party, and I was at the end of the line, and I somehow got hit in the face with a piñata stick.
Was it still in the kid's hands or did it fly
Yes,
out?
it was in the kids' hands.
Wow.
I don't know what happened there. Everything was kind of blacked out after that. I did get to take home the pin, the tail, and the donkey because they thought we were going to sue them.
What was inside the? What was the prize for pin the tail and the donkey? Or just that was it? Just like the pin the tail?
I got the whole game.
Oh, okay, I see.
They took the game off the wall and gave it to me. Yeah. What do you got, AP?
Today I was out doing that weekly shopping, you know, do everything all in one trip. and I picked up the food, and then I was like, wait, didn't I have a whole shit ton of other stuff to do before picking up the food? And I looked around the car and I realized all of the things I was supposed to do I'd left at my counter, kitchen counter, on the way out the door. I literally left behind everything. So I gotta go do it all tomorrow. It was really bad. I'm old. Can't remember anything now. Last night, Cotton was like, important fact! And then 10 minutes later, I was like, all right, this, and this. And then Cotton was like, but I just told you important fact. And I was like, oh, you did tell me that, and I already forgot. So,
Gets worse.
yeah, I don't know.
Also, if you have kids, my memory is like shot after that.
I feel like I'm getting sufficient amounts of sleep, but the sleep sucks. And then when I wake up, everything is hellacious all day long. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe today's the day I'll avoid the news. And then people are like, here's some news alerts about terrible things happening all over the world. And I'm like, okay. Just gonna read a little bit about this to see what horrible things happening today.
Are you getting at least 8 hours sleep?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. I think the time period in which those hours are occurring might be the problem. Sleeping from like 4 a.m. to noon.
Right. I'm trying to shift my hours like back to
completely detached
hours.
from reality ever since this started.
I sleep now 2 to 10, and that seems to be my natural time period.
Listen, if that works for you, that is absolutely great. That's excellent.
Yeah, that's what I've fallen into, but I don't know. I feel like I got shifted back down to 12, but it's hard, man. It's hard. The night.
You're back down to 12 hours of sleep?
No, shifted from two to like, I don't know, 8, but shifted down to 12. And then
I'd say 2 hours of sleep, or 12 hours of sleep would be amazing.
That would be amazing, yeah.
That's like me in high school before college. Those are good times.
I don't think my wife would allow me to sleep 12 hours.
I don't know what to say to that.
It's like you're having too much of a good time over here.
Connor, you want to do this screen alignment thing you've been talking to me about now?
I will try and keep it higher. No, we have to
try to keep what? Yeah, like tell me what I need to do now to get your perfect vision on the screen. For me, it seems like when you're drawing right now, your cursor's near center. You're like midline everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to figure that out, like with the screen share system. So I don't know. I think we have to do that. I
can't share a screen of you sharing a screen with me.
I think we can do it.
You can't. You absolutely cannot do it because when you share a screen, it erases. You can no longer see anybody else's shared screen, Connor. I cannot share. This is how I share a screen of your screen with you.
Hey, Connor, are you sharing a screen or sharing a window?
Sharing a window right now.
Yeah. If he's following your mouse, what advantage do you think you're going to get? Right? Because it's always going to follow your mouse.
I would. I mean, there's two possibilities, right? There's sharing, following the mouse, and then there's a set setting. So if I can have the set setting over my navigator, then I don't have to worry about people not seeing what I'm drawing because they'll see the whole drawing at every time. And so that would be the idea. So the response to UAP would be Discord. You could share your screen on Discord as I'm sharing my screen on Zoom.
All right.
And so we'd have screen sharingception.
Your screen share.
Anyway, we can handle. I mean, I'll just try and keep it, as I normally do. Try and keep it on screen. I think people might be annoyed when, like, I'm down here, right, and then like all you see is nothing, and then people don't see anything.
So your window, you're sharing your desktop, aren't you?
No, I'm sharing the Clip Studio window right now. You get the choice, right? You can choose like this screen, or
because when I share, I hear you. When I share, one of my options when I share Clip Studio is the drawing window only, and you don't see any of the interface. So
I will
think
take that next time.
Yeah, I think you should have an option where you can share just the drawing window, and I think that'll solve, because then what you see in your drawing window is what's going to be shared.
Conversely, the other option is if I just don't maximize my screen, it'll like I said to like whatever 1,000, whatever is normal for the window on AP screen, then it might work also. So I have to like see how it looks.
But you can see it on AP stream, right?
Yes, but
so if you share the window, share the drawing window instead.
well, I can
And then-
unshare right now.
Yeah, I would try it. Try unsharing and then share your draw window.
Okay.
And then you can resize your drawing window to a size that's probably optimized, and that should take care of it.
All right, let me get AP stream up first. And then unshare, stop video. No, that's my start video. Where I don't know. Let's see.
Excellent. All right, I'll work on the cameras while you do that.
see, this is why I didn't think it would be smart to do it live. Because also I don't know how to stop sharing my screen.
With the sharing button should say stop sharing.
I see it now. Okay, stop share. Share screen, and then you were saying I can share just.
Yeah, like I see my two desktops, and then another option I have later down on my list is my Clip Studio Paint window, my drawing window.
I just see the option to share just the program Clip Studio. Actually, I'm not even seeing that right now. Show all windows. Yeah, I'm not even seeing my regular show Clip Studio option right now. Advanced? Portion of screen, content of second camera, music and computer sound only files. No.
Now, portion of screen, you could map a portion of your screen and put your draw window there.
I could try. Let's see. Portion of screen.
I haven't tried portion of screen either. Let's see what it says. Yeah, you should be able to resize a rectangle and define what's going to be shared.
Where do you get to resize the rectangle? Oh,
I don't know.
see.
I just, yeah.
Now you're sharing the stream on stream. It's fucking wild. All right, let me turn this thing back on. Look at that. We got the exact Connor Hughes anthology right here. Connor will be able to see it in about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yes, I can see it better now. Okay, that's something. I sort of have to make sure it's like the right size for your thing. But yes. Okay, that's better. Hopefully people like that. I will try and keep things within that green window, and we can make that work. Thanks, everybody, for your patience.
The most boring intro sequence we've ever had, including that time I did an entire dissertation on anime. Wow, I was really hoping for a laugh on that one. Okay.
I'm not surprised that happened.
I mean, I haven't done that yet. I'm out of the anime game now. Didn't you see on Discord today, people were like, anime chat, and I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about?
That's how I felt about your normal anime chat before, because like I just like older anime, so I don't know all the new anime.
I know you do. You're like, oh man, we really topped out with like Outlaw Star, Ronin Warriors, Dragon Ball Z, Berserk. Berserk's not an anime. Berserk is an experience of pain.
Okay. But it's also an anime.
Berserk is a study in the limit of human patience.
Berserk is great. It's not,
Berserk is a manga for masochists, and the anime of it was designed to test your patience.
I disagree. I will say I saw the anime first, and then I got the mangas in.
I want to discuss what's happening for the folks at home. Connor is sharing the like output of his drawing rather than the actual drawing, so I can't see what he's doing. Things just magically appear and disappear without a mouse cursor, and he's constantly bouncing around and going to new areas. But I also want to say that this chick has an enormous triangular muscle area. Holy shit!
She got some
Does
traps,
she
man.
work out every day of her life? My God!
When you're a rogue, you gotta have those traps to like lift up.
Yeah. Wow! I was gonna say her shoulders must be absolutely fucking shredded.
That's why she covers them up. You know, she doesn't want to show off those
Oh my
guns at all
God.
times. You gotta be roguish. You gotta keep it on the DL.
Okay. Where were we? Are we ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah. I'm ready.
All right. So, for those who watch the show, you may know that in this world that we live in, there is an entity 500 years ago who was defeated by the name of Evodrin Evoker, the Demon Lord. Now we know that the Cazador's party, who are called the Drawn Blades, I believe, is that what the
Yep.
the Drawn Blades were part of a secret society whose job it was to investigate and contain Evodrin Evoker and make sure that he could never be released. The world story matters a little bit less with the new party on CorsairePort, because of course CorsairePort is at the edge of the world. It was only recently discovered in the last few dozen years, and it has nothing to do with the main storyline of the world. But we do know that Ashe has a deep connection with Guzenkas, and that his people yearn for freedom from the yoke of oppression of the Empire. Or at least that's Ashe's interpretation of them. The reality might be quite different.
It's not even Ash's interpretation of the events.
Ashe's
but go ahead.
interpretation is that he should be able to beat the hell out of anybody that he wants to get his way.
They were abusing people.
He should be able to duel and kill any ministers above him in order to take their power. Just like any martial arts movie.
It was a trial by combat.
If you defeat the dojo master, you become the dojo master.
It was trial by combat, and that makes sense within the I think I asked you about it beforehand.
Yes, I know. It does make sense, but it's also a very brutal way of living.
Well, but do you establish that the good... Okay. All right. I'm not taking this bait anymore.
I'm not even baiting you on this.
Okay.
We, tonight, will return 500 years to the past, just 1 year after Evodrin Evoker has been sealed away for none to find. We travel to a small town in the center of the continent that will one day become the Empire. Past even, well, it's not even a town, it's a village. The nearby town of Crossroads will one day become a center point of all things. But instead we go to a humble farming village of Thornhill, which is on top of a massive hill plateau of grassland, farmland. In the center of it lies a forest of mist and shroud. We travel to see three individuals: Farhill, child of Thornhill, her older sister Fade, the barmaid, and Unalaus, the unbending sage, standing in the back of the inn's common room as the local headman is explaining to everyone, now look, Crossroads isn't coming, and like people break out in like wails and crying, and men are shouting angrily. He says, now look, they have their own problems. I know that they promised they would help us in time of need. They could be a target of these raiders just as much as we are. We're going to deal with it ourselves. Just like our daddies did, just like we always have. Okay? So what I'm going to need you to do is go home, stay safe, keep the lights on. If anything happens, you come back here. If there are any problems in the village, you return here. Now, we may not be warriors, but there are at least a dozen of us who are good with bows, seen a few swords around the town. I'm pretty sure we can clean up any riffraff, so I don't want to hear anything about people going out on any sort of adventures. No one try to cut these raiders off. No one try to find them. And no matter what happens, do not go into the Forest of Destiny. No matter what. Okay? Turns to look directly at Fade, which is you, Cotton. With that kind of stern, don't do it. People begin leaving the room, going out into the middle of the night, taking torches with them. There's like a guy outside who's lighting torches for everybody, making sure that they'll, in the same way that we now, you know, every time you go into a store, someone's like, gotta make sure you have your mask. This guy's like, gotta make sure you got your torch in order to go home. Don't let the raiders get you. You really Forest of Destiny. He's already drawing it. Cotton, why don't you tell us what Fade, Barmaid of Thornhill looks like? She's gonna be like, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, Fade, your character, Fade, the Barmaid of Thornhill. One day she will be Empress of the Guzan Empire, uniting a continent in fire and sword.
Man, I feel really bad designing a character that important like the looks of it.
Yeah, good, excellent.
Okay.
I mean,
Remember,
she's 16
these are
now,
just the
so
humble beginnings, right?
Yeah.
So
Humble
There's no-
beginnings. Do you have
Well, I
like
don't know,
any small details you want to put in there that you had before?
I have nothing to add. Connor might, because she's the same. Connor says no. There you go, Cotton.
it's all Cotton.
Tell us who this unassuming barmaiden.
I feel like she's dressed like a barmaid. She's a barmaid.
That's true. She even has barmaiden costume in her inventory.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she has. She's an entertainer, and she gets one costume, and I was like, that costume is a barmaiden costume, obviously.
I think she's gonna have green stripes on poofy sleeves because that sounds fun.
All right, poofy sleeves.
Maybe long black hair. I haven't done anything with black hair in a while. Tannish skin, brown eyes,
Okay, brown-eyed girl. All right.
average height.
Fade, the mayor, shaking his hand at you, is indicating that you definitely should not go to the Forest of Destiny. Now, you've heard of it many times throughout the years. The stories say that one day a hero shall rise up in Thornhill in order to take on the blessings of the goddess of war and lead the people to a new age of civilization and peace and prosperity. For some reason, you always just feel that maybe you should go into the forest. Maybe you're that hero. But everyone around you laughs at you and says that that's crazy, because everyone knows if you go into the forest, you die. Or you wander around and then you come back without any memories several days later. You've always felt that draw, you know, like Moana. Sounds like, I know that. That's a Disney movie, but what does it have to do with this?
I do know Moana. That makes me want to change my appearance to look a little bit more like Moana.
Moana has long black hair.
She does.
And brown eyes.
This is also true.
Average
Tan
height.
skin. Average height for,
I drew her with big hooping earrings earlier, too.
Okay, yeah. Well, Fade Moana, it's time you knew the village of Thornhill isn't putting up with your shit. You're a small town barmaid. It's expected that you get married soon, and that will be your whole life. But you have your adopted younger sister, Tarhill. She's still alive. Sure, some of your other siblings may have been captured by the raiders on their way back from Crossroads several days ago, but at least you still have one sibling left alive.
And those raiders never catching me.
How many siblings do I have that are missing?
4.
Oh.
And your best friend, Unalaus the Unbending Sage, who is a young sorcerer who's traveled around a bit. He knows a bit about the world, but also he's savagely good at killing people. His magic is supremely focused on explorations, travel, survival, and killing. And that's why they call him the Unbending Sage. You know, he didn't get a title like the Green or the Yellow or the Puce. He got a title like the Unbending. Because he's a hard dude. Even though he's only like 40, which is very young for a half-elf. So what do the 3 of you do? You know, this is not the greatest of news, that apparently the plan is to do nothing and in case of trouble, run away to one large area where everyone will gather in a panic.
I mean, I think Tarhill is skeptically snickering on the sidelines.
She does
Arms
seem to have a
crossed.
snickering kind of look here in this drawing that you've done.
I think so, yeah.
What I really
snickering
like
pout.
about this drawing is how there's like a second copy of her in the background, like a country music video, you know, of like a guy playing a guitar, looking at a bald eagle in the background.
I don't know if that's the connotation I had, but
That's what I'm getting out of it. I also
just
feel like
realized-
maybe. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that he drew her not quite so breasty as his other characters.
Wow, you just had to go there. I wasn't going to say anything. What I was going to say is the one on the right looks like maybe she's trying to evaluate how much my liver is worth. Like maybe she could
kind
get
of pouty.
like maybe she could like cut my eyes out and sell them as eyes of nude for something.
She's a little bit more ruthless.
She seems shifty.
Yeah, I mean, she's... Yeah. Yes. All of those things, possibly. So, yeah, she's snickering in the sidelines. And, you know... And, yeah, regarding breasts, I can be restrained. I mean, like, that's my default stance. It's just this environment that invites me.
I can't. I must also restrain myself from making jokes about Connor's restraint because there are too many. I had at least 3 in less than 1 second.
Moving on. Moving on. So yeah, she's snickering in the background, and I'm taking her cues from Fade and looking over at Rob. I forget your character's name.
Yeah, let me go look at it again. I'm Unulaus.
Umlaus. Okay.
Unulaus.
Unalaus. Okay.
Yeah. Unulaus.
It's
Okay.
a very Angu's name, possibly.
I think so, right? It reminds me of that. So are we even contemplating trying to save Fade's relatives? Or are they lost to us forever?
So, what you know is that a mysterious force of raiders who have never actually been seen by anyone alive have been hitting small villages and towns in the local area. They finally shot an arrow with a message to Crossroads, asking Crossroads to, you know, like tie them, send stuff out, and Crossroads is basically like, no. And then one of the like local judges from Crossroads was out hunting, and his entire hunting party disappeared. And since that time, Crossroads has basically closed itself off, nobody in or out. The family of Fade was making their way back from Crossroads because they were kicked out as part of this. You know, sent back home, and they never made it home. So it's suspected that the raiders got them. No one knows where the raiders are, who they are, what their objectives are, or where they're going to strike next. All they know is that they've left a trail of empty, burning villages and towns behind them. Anyone who does not give them what they ask for disappears forever.
So we don't know where Family of Fade is.
Right.
We just know that they're disappeared. They
Right.
disappeared. Yeah. En route to Crossroads or Thornhill. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So
I mean, Fade, what do you think? I mean, shall we try to find your relatives?
Of course, we shouldn't leave them there. They could still be alive.
Because clearly no one in this town is moving a finger to even make the effort.
these guys would just rather sit around and do nothing until these raiders come for them. They don't know the first thing about defending this place from them.
I say we should go out and look for. I know they told us specifically not to, but I think we should go look for them.
Since when have we ever been listening to that guy?
I'm all for.
What he specifically told you not to do was go to the Forest of Destiny.
Right, Forest of Destiny is the thing that.
Yep.
Or like hunt out the bandits, stuff like that.
I mean, we might be able to find our way to the bandits through the forest.
That's true.
Is this forest like right outside the town?
So I wanna be clear. The forest isn't outside the town. The town is built on a grassy plateau, which is why it's called Thornhill, because the hill that leads up to it and surrounds it in every direction is covered by briars, like thorny briars. But the center of the village, we should definitely call it a village because it's much smaller than a town. It's only got a few hundred people. Has this small forest. It's always misty. The trees block view more than a few feet in. So the whole village surrounds this area. And it's called the Forest of Destiny. And it's technically not really that big, but everyone who goes in it either never comes out again or they lose their memories. So everyone knows you're definitely not supposed to. At all. Ever. Don't do it.
And the three of us are brand new to Thornhill, right?
No.
No?
Fade has lived here her entire life. Unalaus is kind of a wandering sage in the area who has become a friend to Fade on his travels. And Taril was adopted by Fade's family. Taril is suspected to be from Crossroads. Of course, she's also suspected in a couple stabbings. Thievings. Kicking a couple of the young men in the local area in the crotch.
I'm wanted in 3 systems.
No, you're not. You know how it is at your age. Sometimes the boys get a little handsy with you, and you give them like 3 millimeters of blade in the stomach, just enough to draw some blood. And then they go home and they're like, "She tried to kill me."
What a bunch of sissies. 3, 4, 5 millimeters. I expect them to be able to take it if they're going to try and take me on. So I mean, okay, nothing is bringing us to the forest. So I think maybe we go out and see where these raiders are.
Nothing except me continuously saying, "Don't go in the forest, no matter what."
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't you say that I have a strong urge to go into the forest?
I did say that had happened.
maybe now is that time.
Do I currently still have a strong urge to go into the forest?
Yes.
Is it greater now than ever? Is it like the pull of the One Ring?
Is it greater now? That's a fair question.
Yeah, I don't know that it's any greater than.
Is it something that I want to do even more the older I get?
No, it's always just been the same level. Steady pull to go in the forest.
Let's go. If you've got a great destiny, let's go to the forest and see what there is.
Maybe there's something there that can help us find. Are they brothers or sisters or both?
Brothers and sisters.
To find my siblings. Maybe there's something there that can help us find my siblings.
You know, I'll follow you, but I mean, it just seems to me like there's a direct solution to these raiders if we go look for them. What do you think is in the forest?
I don't know, but something tells me to go into the forest.
It's the great unknown. Aren't you curious to find out what's,
Charles, this
unknowable?
isn't the first time you've heard Fade speak about wanting to go in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But why now?
What better time than now?
Go better now than better time than now, a better place than here.
Wow.
I was trying not to say the whole thing.
Why? It's the best. It's the best. What can you tell us about Unalaus? What does he look like, Rob?
So we know he's a wood elf. You said he's young at 40. He has dark hair. He does have a goatee, which is
typical sorcerer then.
yeah, typical sorcerer.
I was gonna say,
just picked.
can you name a sorcerer who doesn't have a goatee?
Honestly, I went to D&D Beyond, looked at their pictures, and this is the one that I liked. So.
Oh, you picked a picture. All right, let me get a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So dark hair, goatee.
Is that Mordenkainen?
No.
I think
no.
it is.
It's just one of their choices.
All right.
So on the thin side, he carries the is it crossbow? Light crossbow. Carries a light crossbow, no armor.
You've also got a magic rod, which you focus your power through.
Aha. Very cool. Okay.
It's not as cool as that orb that Cotton had in order to cast her evil magic through 2 weeks ago. Because everyone knows orbs are super fucking evil.
Maybe there's a small orb on the end of my rod.
Name one non-evil orb.
Well, the Palantir is not evil inherently. It was just used by
It is a tool of evil.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it
the
wasn't.
Palantir is.
It was a tool for communication.
It's a
the
tool
original
for
5.
no. It was a tool for security. It was used to watch in on people at all times.
Isn't it made by Sauron? So therefore, it's sort of inherently
I
evil.
think they predate Sauron actually.
Oh yeah, okay. But he's definitely like converted them
Look,
to his
at
use.
the end of things, I'm pretty sure one of the 5 ends up in the hands of like Cthulhu, the sea monster, underneath the waves, and it just watches everyone all the time and is like, I'm judging you, land dwellers. Sauron was like, evil influence, and it was just like, no man, I'm way more evil than you. That is what I remember from the wiki.
I'll take your word for it.
What is Connor drawing now? The hair is even more wild.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I mean,
We got some Final Fantasy hair here. It's standing up on its own.
I mean, when you don't take baths every day, I'm more inclined to do that.
All right, look, I'm about to embarrass myself on fashion. There's this thing that all the anime chicks have lately where they've got the 2 ribbon things that stand up. And I was like, all right, I've managed to get a ribbon to do that, but it'll only last for like 10 seconds. All right. And then I've been trying to figure it out for like a whole year. And today I learned that there's wires in them and that's why they stand up. And I was like, man, that's really logical. That makes perfect fucking sense. I don't know how I didn't realize that for a whole year. I just thought I was tying the ribbon wrong.
You gotta follow those cosplay blogs. They'll figure it out for you.
I mean, it's tough getting deep on cosplay blogs because I'm just like, man, this
You
person
can
is so
get-
hot and so talented. And that's as far as I get.
Most like bows that girls clip into their hair already have the ribbons in them.
Yeah,
I mean the metal wires in them.
yeah.
See, but I
They'll-
didn't know
they
that. I
all
just
have
had a
wires.
ribbon and I was like, I want to learn how to do that. For no particular reason.
You could have gone to the store and like bought one of those ribbons, and you could have seen that they had wire. Anyway,
Like I would go into a store to buy a fucking ribbon.
you already bought a ribbon.
I
You just said you had a ribbon.
I bought cat ears and they came with detachable ribbons, and that's what I've been working with.
Bought cat ears, but I won't buy a ribbon.
I don't buy girls' clothes.
Okay.
You want to fight me on that one, Connor?
Did I fight?
I don't know.
okay.
You said it weirdly.
I think that's the impression you're getting. I don't
All right.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll buy cat ears, man.
Okay.
Technically, somebody else bought them for me, so get fucked.
I suppose I will.
Yeah, an audience member was like, I will buy these ears for you. if you wear them on stream. And I was like, sold. But then they arrived and they had ribbons on them, and I was like, well, these ribbons are detachable. This wasn't part of the deal. All right. I'm so deep into arguing with Connor now, I forgot where we were at. I somehow had tricked Cotton into railroading the show back into the Forest of Destiny.
Oh, you can easily trick me into railroading something. If you're like, you should do this, I'll just do it.
You should go to the Forest of Destiny.
I think it was actually Rob that like accepted.
I'm going to the Forest of Destiny. I was gonna say death.
Oh, there will be death. As you exit the inn, the guy outside hands you a torch and says, young lady, Fade, good to see ya. Just take this torch here and you're heading straight home, right?
Thank you, sir.
All right, then. You're a good kid. Taro!
Oh,
He stares at you. He says, you make sure your sister gets home safe, okay?
I always make sure she's safe. Doesn't matter where she is.
Yeah, all right. He just ignores you, Uno.
Unalaus wants a torch.
He turns to look at you and he says, you're holding up the line. you
I'll
don't
give
live here.
Unalaus my torch.
All right, he gives you another torch, Fade.
Fine, whatever. That's racist against wood elves.
I mean, it's not... Okay, just to be clear, he's not being racist against you. You just don't live here. He doesn't like you because you're an outsider. He's not racist. He's just xenophobic. It's the same, but different.
Sorry,
Alright.
some people here like to keep to their circle.
It's a small town. I'm sure he understands.
I'm fine with it.
All right, move along. You're blocking up the line. People are trying to get home. Unalaus.
All right. So I'll follow Fate.
Yeah, that shocked me too. Shep.
I'm going to shut the window. Shut the window.
Not quite the birds that we were listening to last week. So like on the way, like we're walking, and is there any way to obscure our path, or like how far away is our house first, wherever we're staying, to the forest? Like, you said it's in the center
So
of town.
the whole village goes around the forest.
Right.
And you live on the far side. So if you just pretended you were going home and then you ducked into the forest at some point.
That's what I want to do.
The torches will give you away, however.
Right, obviously.
But you humans, you can't see in the dark without a torch. What a conundrum.
So you're saying torches within the forest will be seen very easily?
Well, walking towards the forest with a torch will be seen
Can
very
Can we just
easily.
walk alongside the forest and then just kind of plump into it
Sure, absolutely.
when people
Yeah,
aren't
let's do
looking?
that.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you all make stealth checks?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
We'll see if half the group can succeed.
I don't know if I'm good at that.
Actually, I happen to know that all of you are terrible at it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
I've got
My
crap decks. A wood elf with crap decks. Okay, so anyway, roll 20. Here comes mine.
I gotta check if I've got expertise also.
Look, you don't accuse somebody else of being racist and then be like, I'm a wood elf. I should have great dexterity.
Elves should be dexterous.
I'm kind of sneaky.
Hey, we did
There it is.
Wow.
There's the
successes.
one person who is good at stealth. Absolutely blows it away.
Blue is wide, yeah.
So, Tarl, you grab Unalaus when he's messing around, and like I think he trips over a loose branch and almost drops his torch and sets the grass on fire. And you're like a mongoose. You were moving before he ever tripped because you were like, oh, that Unalaus, he's gonna fuck up. So you. Oh, let's make it really romantic too. You like grab his hand to keep him from falling and then scoop him into, one of those carry moves, right? Like you're supporting his whole weight, draping him down, and then pull him back up onto his feet.
Okay.
The sputtering of the torch highlighting both of your faces in the dim darkness of the night.
Do I need to give you two a moment?
I'll look in her eyes deep in the shadows as I thank you for that. I'll return the favor.
Don't read too much into it. I'm just trying to get us to this forest.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, a root or a rock or something I tripped on, but I'm ready to go. Let's go.
As you quiet down, you make your way into the forest, and as you pass the first few feet into the thick forest brambles, your light is lost. Even against the mist that always perpetually surrounds the forest, it itself enshrouds your light, preventing anyone from knowing that you ever entered.
So we do have the torches lit then. So
Correct.
I'm saying,
Yes.
yeah, okay. All right.
You travel
Here, Fade. Where are we going?
I don't know, but I feel like I'll figure it out.
Lead the way. Big sis.
Wow. That's so. Listen,
hello.
Connor. That's so weird to hear from you.
Sorry.
Oh boy, can't wait for you to dub this for us in Japanese, and then go, "One-chan, one-sama."
Onesama.
See, it's better when you say it in Japanese. It's way less stilted.
Yeah, I'm not good at.
That's
I can
just
rephrase it.
Connor
Yeah,
to self-dub for the rest of the stream.
Do you have an older
whatever I'm
sister?
saying. I have an older sister.
Did you call her Big Sis?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody ever actually calls them big
When I was
sis.
younger, I called my older sister Sissy.
Yeah, wow, that not.
I don't call her big sis, but she does call me little brother. So, I mean,
My sister used to call me Brat.
Yeah, listen, as an older brother with a younger sister, that's accurate.
There was like a group of people that we grew up with that was like brother and sister, and I called the younger boy their little brother all the time. That's the thing, but I've never heard someone say Big Sis talking to their sister.
Well, you're a big sister now.
mm-hmm.
Boom. All right.
I was kind of a big sister when my parents were raising my niece too.
You travel for a time. You are sure you should have come out the other end of the forest by now, but for some reason, you simply seem to be wandering in the dark, misty night, encapsulated in a bubble of light.
I try climbing a tree to seeing where we are
Okay.
above the canopy.
Yeah, please make an athletics check.
I'd like to sort of more jump up and like Wile E. Cat sort of like leap up into the branches.
That still sounds like athletics, but I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. It sounds like you're trying to sell me on acrobatics, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to hear is Cirque du Soleil descriptions.
I haven't seen Cirque du Soleil.
What?
Wow, Connor, you are missing out. It is an art form. It is
I'm
the
sorry.
limit of human physicality.
I will agree with that. Cirque du
Yeah.
Soleil has the best shows. You really should see
I'll tell you what, Connor.
what humans can do.
If cruise ships ever cruise again, which who knows at this point,
Right.
there are Cirque du Soleils on the water that are incredible. You can go on a cruise and get a Cirque du Soleil 7 nights a week.
They have a
Yes, Scott.
Cirque du Soleil cruise?
Oh, not one, like dozens. There, Cirque du Soleil like has branches that will go on multiple different lines.
I haven't looked that much into Cirque du Soleil before. I've like seen the videos and stuff, but I always thought it was one circus.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought it was one circus.
No.
It's a franchise.
Yep.
Oh. Can I give her a boost by like putting my hands out, so she can jump in it and popping her up?
That sounds pretty Cirque du Soleil to me. As long as the boost isn't just like you hold your foot there, but you actually toss her up.
Toss her while she's jumping, so she goes even
excellent.
higher.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, then we got some
Good.
Wile E. Cat action.
You're really on with this cat thing, huh?
Fuck. It's
Wow.
5.
Well, you got a 15. What do you?
Oh, because
Con just gave you advantage. What are you worried about?
All right.
Let me try to sell you on this, Miss Wily Cat. You think that you're going to miss and that you're not going to be able to do the jump, and you withdraw your short swords and you use them like a cat's claws to climb your way up,
Nice.
making short, quick stabbing motions. You make your way up onto a branch, and when you get to the top, it's like that scene in The Hobbit,
Yeah.
where
That's what I'm looking for.
it's just trees in every direction. Surely you would be able to see the edge of the forest by now. It's not that big.
Right.
It's
just
forest
keeps-
everywhere. It's
it
all
just-
forest.
It's just endless. How could this be?
That's when you hear creepy little children sounds like hee 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 ha ha ha.
Do they hear it?
Yes, they hear it. You hear the creepy sounds instead of that wolf howling.
Okay.
Where are the creepy children sounds coming from?
They're coming from everywhere around you as far as you can tell without, further investigation.
Has there ever been any kind of rumors or myths about the forest regarding, like, missing children? Well, yeah,
Yes,
I suppose.
like everyone who goes in never comes back, or they come out with their memory loss several
But
days
specifically
later.
children.
Everyone.
Okay.
Sometimes children will come out here and they'll disappear forever.
I would like to find the sound of the children. Investigate it more.
Okay, you can make perception or investigation.
I climb down and I'm sort of like also listening out for the children, so I'll help her.
Sure.
I will look.
I will use perception.
Okay, let's have everybody roll perception then.
All right.
And we'll see if half of you can make it, half or more. What you should know
Yeah.
is that all of your characters, I believe, have
Half of us
perception.
made it.
Yeah, I get
Yep,
plus
half.
4.
Half of us made it already, definitely. 25.
Don't take this roll away
Wow.
from him. The two of you, keenly attuned to taking care of younger siblings, managed to track down. You believe that they are coming from the same direction you've been heading this whole time, but that the sound is echoing off of trees around you to confuse you.
Hello? She'll just keep going towards the
You
sound.
see a child run from behind one tree, running away from you, and then it disappears behind another tree. And then that same child runs out of a tree to the right of you, again moving away from you and behind another tree. It's super spooky. And that child is also see-through and ghostly.
Is what? See-through and ghostly. Okay.
Yeah, spooky.
Did you guys see that?
See what?
I see trees. And I hear voices, but I don't see much.
The ghostly child.
Where?
I'll
I don't
point
see
to the
anything.
tree that they ducked behind. The last tree they ducked behind.
As the camera turns and all of you are looking in that direction, it helicopters around to look at your faces, and we could see that there are 3 ghostly children standing behind you. And as Unalaus turns, they move behind a tree and disappear, and he never sees them. He has low perception, apparently.
Crappy roll, yeah. Maybe I'm drunk.
Well, I mean, we knew something was in here. It seems like we don't know whether these children are good spirits or bad spirits. What do you feel like?
Proceed with caution. I feel like they are probably good.
In front of you, in the same direction you've been traveling, in the distance, you can see that there is a ghostly child carrying a candlelight that glows faint and green, and the green reflects eerily off of the fog, and the child gestures for you to come towards it and then runs away from you behind a tree and disappears as well.
Do I still feel a pull to go into the forest, deeper into the forest?
No, you're already in the forest. That pull went away when you went in.
Oh,
Now you just kind of feel a sense of emptiness and loss now that this thing that you've been chasing after for your entire life, you're here. But now you don't know what to do. I feel like this is really. I just kind of compressed the story of a coming of age adulthood into about 5 minutes.
Fade immediately starts walking towards the candle child.
Good, excellent. There's no way this will ever go poorly.
Oh.
What do the rest of you do as Fade begins walking?
I'm drawing my blades as I follow her behind her.
So you want to take you want the middle or back?
Oh, you could even walk in like a line, like a vertical line, horizontal line, a triangle.
I say we're V-shape, and I'm
V-shape,
on one side, and you're on the other. We're doing Mighty Duck style here.
All right, that'll work.
You're not doing Bash Bros?
I don't know Bash Bros.
They're from Mighty Ducks.
Oh, I forget that.
The two guys, they do Bash Bros.
All right, but that's two.
Yes, their whole point though
They
is to
go
hurt the
together.
enemy team.
Yeah. They were good.
No, they
Characters.
weren't. They were huge jerks.
Yeah, but they were good characters.
Oh my goodness.
You remember them? That makes them good characters.
Nope. I remember Wile E. Coyote.
Let me say effective characters.
All right. Now I feel like we're far away from the spookiness of this forest and the ghost kids.
Back in Mighty Ducks territory.
You continue to travel into the spooky forest. It becomes fruitless following these children. You think you might follow them forever at this point. They simply appear as far away from you as possible, drawing you in different directions. Has it been minutes or hours since this has started? Your sense of time is beginning to slip. The torch doesn't seem to have burned down at all, either torch.
Faye, do you have any feeling, any gut reaction on what direction we should be going?
No, I just feel a hollow emptiness, like all of my life has come to this point, and I don't know what to do with afterwards.
Word for word. Oh my god. What I like about that is that Fade is completely cognizant of her own feelings and willing to share them without any remorse.
It's my best friend and my sister.
Unalaus, I mean, do you think anything here is, like, magical? Or is this... I mean... Does this
You
seem
asking
like a
if
spell?
weird ghost children in the midnight fog are magical?
Well, okay, so, I mean, ghosts aren't the same as a magical enchantment, as far as I think, as a player.
Sure.
And probably as far as Terrell thinks. Like, so she, you know, a forest can be enchanted or it can be haunted.
I would look at you and say, hey, as powerful as I am, and even with my natural affinity for magic, I don't innately detect anything, you know, other than what we can see with our own eyes.
Okay.
Can I attempt to talk to the ghost children?
Absolutely. What do you want to say?
Why do you keep running?
There's like a ha 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 ha, like weird. As soon as you try to talk to them and communicate with them, all around you there's children's laughter, and you can see ghost children forming a circle around your group. All of them are holding candles now, not just the one who occasionally is in front of you.
Do you want to play with us, or is there something that we can do to help you?
Let me ask, when you offer to play with them, they all nod their head at the same time in a way that's incredibly creepy. How do you intend to play with ghost children with green flame candles?
And a minor illusion a ball and play ball with them?
Yes. I mean, that's kind of cheating. I mean, you could just be like, ooh, look, I kicked this ball and it worked perfectly. The ball goes everywhere I want to, and whenever you try to kick it, it just falls short. But yes, you can.
I'll make it move when they kick it too.
Sure, absolutely. Please make a performance check. You're actually good at this, aren't you?
Am I?
Yes. You're a
I
barmaid.
am good.
Yeah, you're a bard.
You're a bard.
Yeah. This is exactly what you were built for.
Everyone knows all good world leaders in D&D
16.
are either bards or sorcerers because you have to have high charisma to run a country. You don't need high intelligence. You just need to be able to talk to people or murder them. 16. After playing with the children for just a few seconds, they begin blinking out of existence one by one. The ones behind you start, so you aren't sure it's happening, but then it's going around the circle like wildfire as they begin disappearing until the last one is gone and the fog that's around you begins to fade. And now you can see very faintly the distance, a single torch burning in the night through the trees in some sort of clearing that you didn't notice until now.
I feel like we should go over there.
Also, the weird ambient music fades.
Is there anything around the torch? Like,
for right now, all you can see is that there's flickering torch light. Right,
Okay.
you can't get a direct sight on it until you get much closer.
Start moving towards the torch.
yeah.
Yep.
As you move towards the torch, you see that there is a suit of black armor with a greatsword, seated as if resting, even though nothing is inside of it, on a tree stump. And as you move into the clearing, the armor and sword stand up as if, again, there's something inside of it, and move to stand before you, holding the blade.
You want to go, Tin Can?
The armor
Did we
turns
disturb
towards you.
you?
It begins marching towards Taril. Stomp, 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 stomp.
I got my blades out. I'm ready.
Did we wake you up? Are we not supposed to be here?
The blade raises up in a salute to Taril, and then the whole armor suit sets itself into like a combat stance.
Yep. Terrell is ready to take on a combat stance as well.
Okay. It
But she's
simply stands there waiting for you, like an AI in Mortal Kombat, just waiting for you to make the first move.
All right.
It's in training mode.
She's gonna run
Be
up.
careful, Taro.
You know me. I'm always careful. And she's gonna run up and.
I know you.
and-
You're not careful.
Wow, moments before
No.
death.
You know that magic you want to know about? I think it's right here.
and she's gonna try and backflip over the tin can.
Yeah.
And then stab it in the back.
Sure. Make an acrobatic check, and then we'll see how things go from there.
Yeah. Nat
Well, 23. Yeah. I mean,
And
Look,
game over.
you get more handhold on it than you would if someone was inside the suit, because you can like grab the breastplate from the inside and like use it to pull your weight over, and so you do this perfect flip over it. The sword comes in a wide swipe to strike you in the front, and you put a foot on it and use the strength of the wielder in order to do legs over the top of your body, backflip over this thing, land behind it. You can now roll, and you get sneak attack on this.
Hell yeah. All right, I'm gonna use my rapier first.
I don't remember you having a rapier.
The character sheet has it. You want me to take it
All right.
off?
No, I thought I gave you a longsword. That could be wrong.
You gave me a long sword.
Ah, that's what it is. All right, here we go. Yeah, 22 will hit for 11 points of damage. Stab this thing in the back. So it goes right through the armor into the interior emptiness, and then you have a trouble pulling the blade out, but eventually you manage to get with a foot on the back. The armor stumbles forward and then, noisily flips around towards you and enters that combat stance. Is there anything else you're doing?
Yeah, I'm stabbing it again with my dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bonus action.
Yeah.
All right. And you saw that sneak attack damage?
Yes, I did.
All right.
You're having fun being a rogue. Look at
That'll
you. You're excited.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play a rogue for a little bit now.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, 7 points of damage.
Yeah.
On that, unless he's got higher than 19 AC.
He's not. You okay?
So, I mean, is there any kind of weak point in this armor? Like, does there look to be any kind of like glowing stone? You know, like that.
No.
Red eyes. Got none of that going on.
No, sorry. There's no obvious weak points. Listen, I hate to continuously derail this show, but for the PlayStation 2, there was a game called, I think it's called Lifeline. I still have it. You play an emergency services operator on Earth who gets a call from a young waitress on the International Space Station, and you have to voice commands only for the entire game. So it's one of the first games that required a microphone. You had to say what to do, like take this hallway, take that hallway, shoot the red core, stuff like that. And the game was great overall, with the exception of its ability to understand voice commands was very bad.
I can easily imagine.
It actually sounds really cool. Like the
Lifeline
concept
is
of the game.
very interesting, and it was also terrible.
It'd be nice if they remade it now that voice commands gotten a little better.
I mean, I could conceive that if you emulated it, it would be much easier to understand, because of course you're talking about microphones from 20 years ago.
I don't think I would do good at that game because most like Alexas and stuff like that do not know what I am saying. They don't understand me.
Yes, and it's also adventure survival hoarder, and I don't know that you're very good at that. Look, I'm not discounting it.
The main thing though is going to be the the interpretation of voice to text, which I think is probably built into the game itself. I would assume.
It may come as a shock to you, but I love horror.
I am shocked to hear that. Actually, I am very shocked to hear that.
I think I told you about my horror movies. Like I love them a lot.
Like I would remember anything that anybody says nowadays.
It's been a while.
Pondo's over here with the memory of an elephant. He's like, yeah, that's right. That happened in season 1, arc 2, episode 4, 37 minutes in. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
his memory impresses me too.
well, my memory used to be extremely good until like 7 or 8 years ago, and now I'm like, I can't remember anything.
My memory's always been bad, so I'm not looking forward to getting older. I'm not gonna remember a thing.
Got to do all the Sudokus.
Your face is a Sudoku.
Probably. I mean,
So, all right. So speaking of Sudokus, Tarell,
I didn't know what does that have to do with like what was happening though. Lifeline. Anything?
great question.
Like, was there?
Oh no,
Tangent,
because
but-
all of the enemies in Lifeline had some form of glowing red spot you were supposed to target.
Okay.
Right, like they had something that if you shot it, it would be easier. But of course, you had to like shoot one thing and then another thing, and then it would expose the core or something like that. So anyway, the station is attacked by like cyber zombie aliens or something like that. I don't really remember that much. What I do remember is that you had to be able to speak French in order to beat the game. They were like, all right, you need to say 2021, but in French, and it's 2021 or something like that. And I was like, on 21, and they were like, incorrect entry. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be real tough, guys.
Nowadays, you could just get some kind of Google Translate plus like a vocalizer.
That's true. Wow, I wonder. Wow, Connor, that's going to be my next stream. Is Google Translate plays Lifeline? I mean, I have the CD, so I could emulate that shit on my PC. All right, this armor drops to a knee before you, using its sword to keep itself propped up. Its head is down, as if it has been defeated.
I flip my dagger in my hands. Like,
Yeah.
see, no problem. Let's go.
You could easily finish this thing off.
I don't. I mean, what would she do?
Yeah, what would she do? Tell me, Connor. It's not like the whole stream relies on your choice here.
I mean, I think Terrell isn't like the very cognizant sort. Yeah, she's just gonna take it out.
Okay, how do you do it?
It's got a head, right?
It has a head armor, right? Like,
Yeah, so she's just gonna take the pommel of a blade and just like knock the head off the armor and send it like flying like a tin can into like
okay, I mean,
into
when you hit it, it's exactly like hitting someone who has a head, right? It doesn't go flying, it just snaps sideways. But then the armor and the sword all fall down. The sword is left like at an angle where it was stabbed into the ground, but the armor just falls as if whatever was motivating it is gone now.
Terrell, it succeeded. Why did you do that?
Why not? I mean, it's some evil armor. Let's go.
You don't know it's evil. What if it was good?
Yeah, we didn't even talk to it and try to determine if it's evil or not. What are you doing?
Look, it was in our path. It started attacking us. I don't ask questions.
It
You want
didn't
that?
start attacking you. You challenged it to a fight, and it accepted.
Look, it's just a piece of armor. You can't think too much about these things. Do you want that? You want that stuff? I mean,
Terrell, it was a
like
living piece of armor.
it's some kind of magical enchantment. It's not really alive.
How do you know it wasn't really alive?
Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see like a person inside the armor? I didn't. Look, do you want that greatsword or something, or what? Like, it seems like that was important.
Why did you kill it?
I told you already.
Stop trying
Look,
to change the subject about that, though, with the greatsword.
Look. I mean, what can I say? I killed it.
It's a done deal. Let's loot it.
I mean, Unalas, I'm sure you've come across this before. Have you ever killed strange armors in the forest?
I have devastated many strange armors.
See? Don't be hemming and hawing over this, Fade.
Did you ever kill an armor that bowed to you and surrendered in the fight?
I usually don't ask questions. I just witch bolt and then ask questions later.
See? Look, I'll if this runs into a problem later, I accept responsibility. Okay.
Okay. Can I look at the greatsword that was in the ground?
Yeah. It is in the torchlight. It appears to be a dark iron, maybe completely blackened blade. What strikes you about it is that it seems like most of the blade is kind of ornamental, but that there's like that slim razor edge that sticks out of it along both sides of it. As if like the whole rest of the blade is a sheath to perhaps provide more weight to the blade, but that the actual blade is very small, thin, sharp metal along the edge.
I guess I'll kneel down and grab the blade, but before I do, I'll look to the knight and say, "May you rest in peace if something was keeping you here." And then I'll pick up the sword.
Okay, make a religion check.
Not super great at that.
That's going to be really tough for but soon
No,
to be
15.
saint of God of war. Be bad at religion. Wow, the person who made her probably should have anticipated that.
I'm sure she'll get better in time.
15.
Maybe this is the stuff that turns her on that path.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel a presence around you departing into the afterlife. You believe that you have correctly performed the kind of rites required to allow a spirit such as this to pass on.
By killing it?
No, by saying, "Hey, go ahead.
Oh.
It's all right. You can pass on." I mean, of course, you can't allow something to pass on until it's dead. You know, there are steps involved in death. You know, first you have to die.
Okay.
Then the next step
Terror.
is someone has to send you on your way.
I think the presence here has finally passed on.
Yes.
So when you turn to look at the far edge of the clearing where nothing stood before, there is now a fountain with a bucket sitting at the edge of it. Water is coming out of the center that looks like a flower and spreading into the fountain pool. And then there are 4 bowls on 4 tree stumps surrounding the fountain.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember seeing that earlier.
Yeah, it's
You've been here
pretty
before?
shocking. It's not actually that far away from you, so you definitely should have seen it before now.
All right, well, let's go take a look at that then. 4 bowls around a fountain.
4 bowls? I thought it was a bucket.
There's a bucket and
There's
4
a
bowls.
bucket on the fountain's rim, and then there are 4 bowls on 4. You know what? I will draw something for you.
Damn, we're getting some
No.
AP Gaming
What?
Real here.
Map?
Drawing on tabletop. On the tabletop. Maybe you should put this on the.
Nope, it's not
Drawing
going on
screen.
the overlay.
You're putting it on the roll 20?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting you guys there. It'll take a second.
Okay.
Bucket.
There it is.
I'm really excited to see my drawing.
Of course.
There you go.
This is a rare opportunity.
And just to remind you,
It's a
the fountain,
masterpiece.
a short stone wall holding in some water, and then the center point of it is a stone flower, which is actively, circularly refilling the water.
Is the stone flower the like spitty part of the fountain?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to do, so that I do something, I'm going to do my mage hand
Yes.
on the bucket,
Yep.
fill it with water,
Yep.
and go around and fill the 4 bowls.
Very well. By the time you filled the second bowl, when you glance over, the first bowl is empty.
Maybe we have to fill them all at once.
We could do that because I could do the mage hand on one bowl and all 3 of us do the other bowls.
Oh,
Do
we've only
you
got one
continue
bucket.
filling the other 2 bowls after you notice that the first bowl is not filled anymore? Because you said you were going to do all the bowls. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure. Okay. All right. Yeah. By the time you've done the 4th bowl, the first 3 bowls are all empty. After a short time, you glance away from the 4th bowl, and when you look back, it's empty.
This is one tricky fountain.
Or we have to drink from
Technically,
the
the fountain's
bowls
fine.
quickly. All right, so now I will see if I can detect, any kind of magic or whatever. Because clearly there's something going on, but is it possible to do some kind of arcana check to see?
Yes, absolutely.
Inkling?
Arcana would work here for sure.
All right, plus 3.
It's just a matter of speed. I got speed.
If it's speed you need.
Plus 3.
Start humming the Initial D soundtrack.
Please don't. You should know that I do the Patreon thing once a month with the Patreon group that pays me at that highest level. And we had a Star Wars speeder bike race, and the guy was like, so I described something as Initial D, and he's like, yeah, I love that anime. So I put the Initial D soundtrack on for the race that he then won enormously by like a huge amount. Even though the
Awesome.
other racer was better than me, completely crushed them.
So 14 total.
14 total. There is something drawing the water from the bowls, but it is limited. There is magic here, sucking the water from the bowls, but it can only maintain itself for so long.
We need.
So I'll pass that on to everyone. So I don't know. I feel like it might be a temporary thing. We can keep trying to fill the bowls and see what happens, or we can, try to drink from the bowls. I'm open to what you guys want to try.
Fade? I mean, you brought us into this forest. What's your instinct?
Did we try filling them all at the same time?
No. How do you propose to do that with one bucket?
Can we pick up the bowls, or are they like big in the ground bowls?
They are solidly attached to the tree stump that they are set on. No matter how much force you exert on them, they do not move.
We have a water skin, but of course that involved, if we're going to use the well water, we'd have to dump out all of our water for the water skin, which, given that we're in a enchanted forest of mysterious entry and exit, I don't suggest we do that.
Well, now you're cautious? You attacked the animated armor without thinking, and now you're cautious?
Look, a foe in front of me I can solve. I don't want to die of dehydration in some forest.
We've got a fountain of water right here. It was a good idea. Let's load up. I'll load up my water skin.
So,
Can we see if there's anything weird about the water?
I fill up a bowl.
How do you propose to do that?
it.
You want to taste it a little bit? Get a little on your...
Can I detect magic on the water?
Absolutely. When you detect magic, the water is not magical. Neither is the fountain, but all 4 bowls are.
Okay.
So
Do
in
you
the
guys think
process
this is
of doing,
normal water? I know it's not magical water.
so I pick up a bowl and fill it with water, and from the well, and I gesture to either of them to drink it if they think it's okay. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Wait, are you able to lift the bowl? I thought they were firmly
No, you
attached
can't lift
to
the
them.
bowls.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. Bowls aren't going anywhere.
Well, unless you guys have any better ideas, I mean, we can try to continue because I feel like it won't last forever.
Then maybe we should do it super fast. How quickly can we fill up the bowls?
I can do it super fast.
Have at it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to need help probably if we're going to try and fill them all up at the same time. But I can try and rush. You want me to just? I'll do it.
We've got 1 bucket. Let's try and do it like the correct way. I think this is a puzzle.
Maybe we got to fill it up in order:
Maybe.
north, south, east, west.
Can I look and see if there's any like markings on the bowls or anything?
Yeah, you look closely at each bowl. They do not seem to have any difference between them. All of the bowls, now that you look closely, have a pattern of a 8-sided turtle shell on them, repeating periodically across it. The bowls are flat bottomed, and then they rise up at a sharp curve.
So we know the sequence that I filled it. If you want to reverse the sequence, I mean, let's try that.
Sure. By the way, just as a note, I have a passive perception of 16. So if the bowls had markings of any kind that she might observe.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind from now on.
Yeah.
But you missed it completely until Fade took a look, though. So your passive isn't so strong.
Wow.
Your mojo's not as good as you think it is.
Passive is very strong indeed. All right, yeah, I'm going to try and rush through the process of filling the bowls really quick. And I suggest that I'm doing a sleight of hand.
Okay, so what is the intent here? You're going to try to rush to each bowl and fill them before each one drains?
How much water is required from the bucket for each bowl? All the
you
water?
Have no idea. So far, I assume, given his description, that Unalaus has been filling each bowl with 1 bucket full of water.
I mean, you could just look at the bowl and look at the bucket.
We could just splash a little bit of water from the bucket in each bowl, so we don't have to take the whole time to fill it.
Yeah, so maybe that's a good idea. So maybe I'll try and put 1/4 of the bucket in each bowl.
Okay. The instant any of you look away from a bowl, it is drained.
I want to stare at a bowl after he puts water in it.
Okay, you're gonna blink
Yeah.
eventually.
But not if it goes fast. I'll just hold my eyes open like staring contest.
Okay, yeah. The water remains there for as long as your eyes are open. Your eyes begin to go red. Can you make a Constitution saving throw real quick? I just want to see how long you can keep your eyes open. I mean,
that's not a good score for me.
Obviously, a saint of the god of war should have incredible endurance and fortitude, correct?
I think I have a -1.
Wow, that's rough.
I got a 15.
Okay, you're able to keep your eyes open for several minutes before finally your body shuts down and you blink, and everyone else in the area is either distracted or looking away, and the water is gone.
How about 2 of us? Okay, there's not enough for everybody to look at all the bowls. Does it like vanish the second we look away every time?
Well, there are technically 4 of you. We haven't mentioned it yet because Connor, I guess, didn't notice it on his sheet, but I believe he owns a pet mouse.
What? No, I didn't.
I think urchins start with a pet mouse.
It's not in the equipment section.
Are you sure? Somebody here owns a pet mouse, 100%. I'm very certain of this. In equipment, did you scroll all the way down to like other possessions?
Okay, pet mouse.
Yep.
A token to remember your parents by. Is the pet mouse a token, or is the
no? The token is something different.
different? Okay. I mean, we could use Squeaker.
That's the name of your mouth, Squeaker.
Yeah.
Squeaker suddenly appears out of. You don't actually seem to have pockets. I assume Squeaker hides in your scarf then, and stands on your shoulder and squeaks. Squeak.
She has. I mean, if I move the camera lower, you would see that she has bags.
Okay, yeah. Squeaker comes out of your bag. It climbs up your body.
Right.
It's tough.
Now poking out of the like the thing that she has on her.
Squeaker is just a normal mouse, but for the rest of you, you've always wondered why Squeaker looks just as mean and upset as Taro does all the time. Squeaker's probably got like only one eye. The other was lost in a fight sometime. Missing a couple whiskers. Seems like a tough, fat old mouse.
Yeah, tough old mouse.
Squeaker. I didn't know you came into the forest with us.
Squeaker squeaks twice when you say that.
Squeaker goes where I go.
There's a couple crumbs in Squeaker's mouth that indicate that Squeaker has recently eaten some of your food.
Are you eating my rations again? Well, fine. I mean, your rations are my rations. My rations are your rations, rather.
Squeaker wipes his mouth off on your scarf, so the crumbs are all there.
We can all take a bowl and watch the water this time. But we still have to move quickly to fill them up so that people don't get too tired to blink.
Maybe not so quickly, because I can mage hand to fill them, and as long as we're watching them, the water will last. At least that's what we've determined so far.
Yes, let's try it.
Okay.
All right, so I'll have a bowl, and I'll do the mage hand and do the quarter.
What are we doing with
pour.
Squeaker? I know that we mentioned him. I don't know if he's being involved in this process.
So we explain to Squeaker, who of course understands. That's my pet.
Cast Speak with Animals.
Okay, now you can talk to Squeaker.
And I asked Squeaker to watch the water in the bowl without blinking for a few seconds.
Squeaker says, "It's good to hear from you again. Faye, I have to tell you, I do not feel like doing this thing that you have asked of me. Why should I do this for no reward? Huh?
I'll give you a ration.
Make a persuasion check. At advantage."
Squeaker asked him for a ration again. He just ate a ration.
I mean, a ration is huge compared to a rat.
It's a pet mouse? Excuse me?
13. Squeaker goes, "I will not do this for one ration. I don't obey you. And
I apologize. I only have one ration on my
I
character
think
sheet.
it's time for you to recognize that I don't work for you, huh? You know? You might be...
I was just asking you for a favor.
Yeah, well, you know what? I work for my partner in crime here, okay? Lady, listen, you may be her, like, sister or something, but we're a rat pack. And then Squeaker turns and faces away from you so that its tail is the only thing pointing towards you.
Tara, he only wants to listen to you.
Tell him I will give him a gold piece.
Tarl has offered you a gold piece.
Terrell, make an animal handling check.
Got a great score for this, I'm sure. Wait, I have to check. No, actually. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, you just drew the mouse in.
Of course.
I didn't notice it.
Of course.
All right. When you offer the gold piece, Squeaker climbs down your body, and you feel the weight, and then it runs past the fountain, and it gets up on the tree stump of one of the bowls, and then it leaps up and pulls itself onto a bowl edge, and then kind of half the body in, half the body out, just hangs there uncomfortably, squishing its ribs.
I think that was a yes.
Yeah, he looks like he's into it.
All right, take your positions. I'll start doing the mage hand and pouring water in the other bowls.
Okay. As you're watching, all 4 bowls are filled with water. How long do you all attempt to stare at every bowl for as long as possible?
As long as it takes.
Did you what?
Well, once the bowls are full, I go, maybe we should drink the water.
I see.
We gotta lower ourselves to the water. I mean, it doesn't seem like these come up. Yeah, I suppose it's possible.
Yeah, kneel down and sip from the water. Maybe cup your hands. Maybe use the bucket. I don't know. You tell me. How's this going down?
Fade? You're in
I
charge.
guess I'll cup my hands and take a little sip of water and see if anything happens.
Okay.
So why?
When your hands get up to here, you can no longer see the water in the bowl, and the bowl is empty.
Oh, my bowl emptied.
Unalaus, your bowl is also empty when you bring your hands down. Gotcha! I gotcha. What's going on with you, Tarl? When you look over, Squeaker's bowl is empty.
Squeaker, do you stop looking?
Squeaker cannot. A mouse cannot keep its eyes open for an infinite amount of time. They actually blink quite often.
I don't think this is working, guys. I mean, there's got to be some way.
Do you turn and look at them when you say that? Or are you still intently staring at your bowl?
Well, I've already looked at Squeaker.
Oh, excellent. As soon as you turn to look at Squeaker, all of the bowls, all of the tree stumps, and the fountain disappear. You're just standing in the middle of a field.
Well.
I guess we solved it.
Or broke
Solved
it.
it. It just disappeared.
We could have broke it.
Look, we've made progress one way or another. I'm sure whatever this new problem is, we'll solve it. We got this.
When you turn, you can see that there is something in the distance, again, at the edge of your vision. It appears to be the entrance to some sort of underground. It's like, how do I describe this? It's like a shed that's triangular, or the things that are at the top of buildings that let you out onto the roof access. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're shaped triangularly so that you know that you have to go down. But you hear a voice call out and say, "The old one runs forever, but never moves. He has not lungs nor throat, but still roars a mighty call. What is it?"
Did I get that again?
Yes. The old one runs forever, but never moves at all. He has not lungs nor throat, but still a mighty roaring call. What is it?
What does the area around here look like right now? You say we were in a field?
Yes. So you can see the edges of the forest in every direction, but you are in a immense grassy field.
Do we know of any large old river that's in the area?
Yeah, I thought of river too.
There are large old rivers.
With a name?
The rivers run. Yeah, River Run.
I call it River Run.
Why
River
when you
Run, of course.
say river,
Yeah.
You hear the sound of a gong being hit, but you can't hear it. Oh, you can't hear yourself say "run" at that time.
Mm-hmm. Looks like I got it.
Congratulations.
I take a bow.
You hear someone say, a different voice say, "Who works when plays and plays when works?"
Who works when plays and plays and works?
Who works when plays and plays when works?
Got me on this one.
Man, I usually love riddles a lot, but I'm still sleepy.
Soccer player. A gamer. I mean,
Gamers don't exist in this world, and neither does soccer. But there is another word that might describe what you're attempting to say.
an athlete.
Athlete?
When you say athlete, you hear another gong strike.
I got this, guys.
Good job, guys.
No, conorhughes has this. I don't know that Tarl does.
Tarl has it. That was all Tarl. What are you talking about? How could you ascribe Tarl's wit to me? That's weird.
I like how cocky Charles being about it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Tarl's super like. I mean, she killed that Iron Giant thing.
You hear a voice say, "A father's child, a mother's child, yet no one's son."
A daughter.
A daughter?
Okay, you hear a third gong. There are no more voices
Take
that
that,
speak.
Toro.
I like the idea that both of you answer at the same time in order to cut Tarl off.
I mean, she like thinking back about parents, like that just like brought up some stuff for her, and so she wasn't quite on her game. And you guys are reveling in it.
Are those tears?
Whoa,
There's no tears.
wow.
Tears I'm seeing?
I don't have any tears. I'm too tough for tears.
Wow.
You've never seen me cry.
You look too tough for tears.
I'm just gonna pat Tarl and be like, let's go.
Does anyone need to take a break here?
Besides you?
Are we doing the?
I want to
3
take a
hours?
break.
You want to take a break? Okay.
I want to take a break.
We'll be back in 8 minutes for the second half, guys. Stick around. The riddles are done, but the puzzles are not.
We knocked those out quick.
Yes, actually, you surprisingly got all of the optional riddles. You know, sometimes when I do riddles on the show, people are like, "Fuck this! I don't know how to answer it." That happened on Winter's Edge.
I love riddles. I love
Dick
riddles
Rock,
so much.
The Dick Rock riddle was hard. I remember that one.
there wasn't a riddle involved. It was just a rock that looked like a dick.
there was a
There was
riddle
no
in that
riddle. It
session.
just involved showing up and looking at the dick rock.
there was a riddle in that session. Though.
I don't
remember
recall
that. I remember that.
All right, we'll be back. Stick around, friends.